Good afternoon from sunny West Palm Beach. My name's Richard, and this is my 1930 Model A, and I'm proud to display this car on My Car on Video. This car was purchased from the Postmaster General of Springfield, Massachusetts a few years ago off of eBay. We're looking at Ralph. The car is called Ralph's Cruiser. This was my daughter's raffle winnings in 8th grade some 20 years ago. Ralph is my fishing companion, and we go for rides very frequently during the week. He's a noticeable and comfortable companion. Ralph's Cruiser was manufactured in September of 1930. Ford to this day maintains particular sensitive statistics on everything. They're like the Spanish Armada. There's a lot of unique items about this car. Why don't we start with the trunk in the back. A standard trunk in the early 1930s. This eventually is where the word trunk came from for your cars today. Your Honda, your Lexus, your Chevy, a trunk. A unique thing about the 1930 28 to 38 cars is the rumble seat. A closed item that would open up and sit 2 or 3 people. Access to this rumble seat was very unique. There was a little staircase built in. In 1930, they only had one tail light. So therefore, our stairway to the rumble seat was a step, you grab a hold and jump in. In 1931, we had 2 tail lights. So this step was put in the front, so we would go step, and in. Car is made of all steel. There's no fiberglass. There is no Bondo. And I, at 250 pounds, can step from here to here without creating any stress on the car and hop into the rumble seat. Several other terms are unique and were created in this era. If we come to the front and I open the hood, we will see where the word floorboard comes from. And we have to get in close and under, but that's wood. The basic cockpit is made of wood, and the word floorboard was in fact a reality in 1930 because the floor was made of wood. So you had a true floorboard. The engine is a 4-cylinder, 40 horsepower engine that Henry Ford used to brag could do 45 miles an hour in second gear. Of course, that was downhill with the wind. The car could do 62 miles an hour. It is never suggested to drive this car over 40 miles an hour in today's traffic because of braking. These are the original brakes, 4-wheel mechanical brakes, and all they react to is pressure. It's hard to stop this car. So you always have to leave enough braking distance. So the Model A clubs suggest never going over 42. Big stone guard in the front protecting the radiator because the roads back then were mostly stones, and the bouncing of the stones would penetrate the radiator, cause the leak. So the fancy stone guard was very functional. Worth noting is the crankcase, in case the battery went bad, you could at least mechanically start it by cranking. One of America's favorite items is the classic Auga horn. That's a standard horn on the Ford Model A's. The deluxe Model A Roadster had the dual side mounts, also known as a 6-wheeler. had the quail cap on the radiator. Henry Ford was a quail hunter, and that was for fast starts. The quail radiator cap was a $3 option. With the recession of 1930, the 1931 model only had one side mount, not dual side mounts, and he reduced the price $15 accordingly, so he could sell more cars. This car basically sold for $545 in 1930. Ford is big on commitments and friends. His two best friends in life were Thomas Edison and Firestone, and they lived all side by side in Fort Myers Beach. These are black Firestone tires, balloon tires. There's a tube in there. But even to the year 2000, when all they had the rollovers on the SUVs, they were still Firestone tires. Today, Ford is committed to Firestone only on their cars. Another unique feature about this car, or this era, let me just say this era, is the gas pedal. It's actually a pedal. It's the left round pedal there. The pedal on the right is nothing more than a footrest. The car can be driven off the steering wheel because this amounts to a cruise control. If you were going a long distance, you could rest your foot on the right pedal and just drive and set the throttle according to here. Very unique item, 1930. Uniquely about these cars is that the 10-gallon gas tank is right here, and you put the old gas in. In 1930, it was 6.5 cents a gallon. No fuel taxes, no taxes of any sort. And it would have a gravity flow drip to here, and then down into the carburetor. And that's how it got started. There's a little switch inside, a mechanical switch that you could turn on and off the gravity flow. If you forgot to turn it off when you went home at night, 2 days later you're out of gas because the overflow would just drain out onto the driveway. The car's from Springfield, Massachusetts, spent most of its life in the Berkshire Mountains, basically coming to West Palm Beach. This thing has won the lottery. Nice, comfortable territory. We'll put the hood down, but that was the carburetor, as simple as it is. One of the unique things about these Roadsters back then was they had the wing windows. And trust me, I've driven this in bad weather in Florida. We have it often. They're very effective in keeping the moisture out of the car. There were no windows in the Roadster until 1934, when they came out with the convertible. See, the convertible has windows. You can convert it to a topless thing, but a Roadster has no windows. That's your basic difference between a Roadster and a convertible. This is a true Roadster. Personally, one of the reasons I always liked this car was it was the untouchables car, the gangster car. And you got the big headlights, you got the square windshield, and you got the armor, and always ready. Well, here's the old Model A, top-down day, beautiful sunny afternoon, cool weather, but Ralph wants to find another fishing hole. So off we go to a new fishing hole. Let's go, Ralph. Will the Model A start? They always start. Away we go. Have a wonderful afternoon.